interaction today. I'd like to begin by welcoming our witnesses, Associate Administrator Eric Postel of USAID. And Mr. Postel, I'd like to publicly thank you. I know the State Department made an accommodation to have a partnership conversation today, and it's greatly appreciated. I think it's very appropriate, but thank you. Daniel Rundy of CSIS and Michael Goldsman of Coca-Cola. Thank you guys for being here. Look forward to your testimony. We're here today to discuss an issue that I find very important, how we can use private sector and NGOs to serve as a force multiplier for limited taxpayer dollars in foreign assistance. Foreign aid accounts for less than 1% of the federal budget of the United States, and official development assistance worldwide only makes up 20% of resource flows into developing countries. With that said, as Ranking Member Keene and I are both members of the Budget Committee and the Foreign Relations Committee, we have a unique perspective on how our global security crisis and our fiscal crisis are intertwined. Even though foreign aid is less than 1% of the federal budget, I keep that in perspective in the fact that in our current fiscal situation, every dollar we spend on the State Department and USAID technically in the United States is borrowed. And so it behooves us to be very responsible about that in terms of how we invest it. And I think this leverage that we get, this natural leverage with the partnerships, is extremely important today given the needs around the world. That's not to say we shouldn't continue to be more philanthropic and more philanthropic. We're the most philanthropic nation in the world today, but in an environment of limited taxpayer dollars, we've got to seek ways to find partners to help carry the load. And that's why our three witnesses are here today to discuss public-private partnerships in foreign assistance. And as a clerical note, I'm simply going to refer to public-private partnerships as partnerships. We have a bet with my staff that I can't say that 3 times in a row. So we're going to call it PPP, and that's not purchasing power parity. It's public-private partnerships today to make it easier on all of us. But thank you for being here. These partnerships are by no stretch a new idea in foreign assistance. We've seen USAID and other agencies work with nonprofit NGOs since the early 70s. However, in the 21st century, a new world of public-private engagement in development has emerged, a new model marked by common objectives, joint planning, mutual resource contributions, and shared risk. I'm eager to hear from USAID today as the primary U.S. agency promoting international development, who's been a leader on partnerships for development since the establishment of the Office of Global Development Alliance in 2001. I also look forward to hearing from Mr. Rundy about who not only served in that very Office of GDA in the last administration, but now studies development issues for the think tank perspective at CSIS. And I also look forward to hearing from Coca-Cola, a company with distinguished history of partnership programs with USAID and other partners around the world, also who has launched dozens of programs and projects with USAID just since 2002. Today, I hope we can get at some critical issues, some of which will be brought out by the questions and in your testimony, but I hope we'll talk about, what are the benefits to both business community and to the government of public-private partnerships and to the developing countries around the world? How can we further leverage these partnerships as we go forward? What can businesses do in foreign assistance and development that the U.S. government cannot? How do such partnerships benefit the American economy and jobs as well as the receiving countries? And how can we ensure appropriate congressional oversight of these partnership programs? I think more than anything else, if we look at the State Department mission and so forth, we know that a developing world is a safer world. And so I think this public-private partnership idea is something that we've got to continue to get better at. You guys are the experts. We look forward to it. With that, let me turn it over to Ranking Member Senator Tim.